Alright guys, I welcome you to my channel. I specifically made this video to help potential researchers who want to learn more on SPSS. As you may have heard, SPSS is simply statistical package for the social sciences. So SPSS is simply a data analyzing tool used for statistical analysis, data management, and data documentation. It is widely used in various fields such as social sciences, health sciences, marketing, and education. I would say this software supports a wide range of statistical tests, including descriptive statistics, t-tests, analysis of variance, that is ANOVA, regression analysis, factor analysis, and many more. Actually, this tool will help you analyze your data, and this is going to help your research a lot. So let's start. To begin, there are a few tasks I want us to go through with this software. The first task you should know is data preparation. So data preparation is simply converting your raw data into structured formats, because the data that you gather from you issuing or sending your questionnaire out, you need to do a lot of exercises such as data entry, data cleaning, data editing, and data coding. So there are a lot that you need to do for your data to be prepared, or for your data to be ready to be analyzed. So if you gathered your data through survey and questionnaires, because there are other data collection methods, which are survey and questionnaires, interviews, observations, experiments. That is for science, those who conduct experiments in the laboratories and all that. And also have focus groups, case study, and others. For we social science students, we normally use this SPSS, PLS algorithms, analysis of movement structures, that is AMOS, and then statistical package for social sciences for our research. So we are going to start with data preparation. Assuming we are conducting a simple research, which you can see from my screen, the effect of renewable energy on Ghana's sustainable development. So assuming you have already written about your research background, you are done with problem statements, significance of the study, research objectives, research questions, and methodology. And under methodology, you have opted, or you have chosen to gather your data through questionnaires, which is basically quantitative means of data gathering. So assuming you have already gathered your data through either online or through the conventional means, that is sending your data out, printing of hard copies, and then sending it out for respondent to fill. Assuming you are done with all that, and you are about to, or you need to enter it into the data analysis software. How do we go about it? So the first task that you have to do is data entry. So let's start by entering our data into the software. Then we do data cleaning, because if you send your data out, it is possible one or two people might skip some of the questions, and so if such happens, that data, SPSS treats it as missing data. So when you gather, after soliciting your data, you need to ensure you don't have any missing data in your data sets. So let's load our data. So you go to, on the SPSS, you go to File, Open, and then you go to Data. As soon as this dialog box appears, you change the file type, as you can see from the screen, the file type to Excel, and then you locate or the destination of your data. You search through. On this particular computer, I have my data on desktop. So as you can see, I have named it empirical data. So I'm loading it. Continue. Okay. So this is how it appears. As you can see from my screen, I have timestamp. This particular section, we don't normally use it. So I want to just clear it because I will not be needing it. Now you can see the first one starts with demographics, age. This one is employment status, and then education. I will not be needing this. Okay, I will need it later, but not now. SPSS normally compute or normally work with numerical data. Yes, data that can be counted. So with all these ones cannot be counted because these are non-numerical. Even though we have 26 to 33 years, but it is more or less like qualitative data. So SPSS cannot work with this unless I convert all of them into numerical data. That is why we say in this particular part, you have to do lots of activities such as data entry, data cleaning, data editing, and data coding. So I'll walk you through all these tasks for our data to be prepared for analysis. First of all, what do we have to do? Let's see how best we can just convert our qualitative data or the demographics here into numerical data. Then we'll proceed with the rest. So first of all, what you have to do is to go to the view, the variable view. As you can see here, the variable view here has strings. As you can see from the screen, it has string, and SPSS doesn't work with string. You have to make sure all the variables, all the type, all the items that appears under type are numeric. In other words, numerical data that can be counted. With string, it has some kind of qualitative data. Let's go back to the data view. Here, as you can see, what we have to do first is to go to transform. There are so many ways that you can recode the qualitative data here into numerical data. I normally prefer doing it automatic recode. This can work for you. That is, recode into same variables, recode into different variables. That I normally prepare using automatic recode because that's quite convenient. So let's start. Then you go to automatic recode. So then you just have to click on the one that you want to start first. That is, I want to start with demographics. So I'll just send the demographics to this side, and then I will give it a new name, say gender. Like I said, let's begin with gender. So you type in gender and then you click on add name. Then here we have two options. We have the lowest value and then we have the highest value. So what you have to do is you can choose between the lowest value or the highest value. If you choose the lowest value, it is going to, because we are after gender, and then we know gender is normally divided, it's either a male or female. So if you choose the lowest value, it is going to apportion numbers that is 1 or 2. So if you choose the lowest value, it's going to assign 1 to the females, that is starting from the lowest version by counting of the alphabet. So if you select the highest version, which I normally prefer using, it's going to name the males. We're going to assign 1 to the males and then assign 2 to the females. I normally prefer using the highest, which is starting with the male, because it's quite simple and easy as well. So let's start with the highest, which is the highest value, and then after clicking on add new name, we choose OK. So as you can see from the screen, like I said, the software has a portion or assigned 1 to the male and then 2 to the female. So you minimize this side and then we check on the other side. So you can see that the gender which we're having here, which was already male or female, has been assigned with numbers, which is good. It is normally these ones that the software prefers or likes to use, not the qualitative data or non-numerical data. So if you really want to check if what we did was right, you can use the toggle button, which is this side, to check. As you can see from the screen, once I click on it, it changes to the numerical data. Once you click on it, it changes the non-numerical data, that's the female and female. So let's switch to the previous one, and then what we can do is go and delete the first one that has the qualitative data, which we are not going to need it or we are not going to use, so we can just clear it. So you click on clear, it will be deleted. Let's do for the age, we'll go to transform, and then we'll go to automatic recode. Then we select age, we assign or we rename it age. Then we'll click on add new name. The moment you click on add new name, it will be added or to change to the new name. This is the old one and then this is the new one. So you choose the highest version, which normally I prefer in using it, and then you click on OK. We check. So you can see that in my data I have 34 years and above, and I also have 26 to 33 years. I have 18 to 25 years. So it has assigned 1 to all those who are 34 years and above, 2 to 26 to 33 years, and then 3 to 18 years to 25 years. Let's minimize it and then we'll go and check from the other side. So you can see we did one for gender, we did one for age. It has been changed as we wanted it to be. So you can use the toggle button to check. If you check, you can see, as I explained earlier on, or 26 and then other 34 years and above, 18 years to 25 years, all has been assigned with numbers, which is quite good. Let's go and then delete, because we now have the numerical data here. We don't need the non-numerical data, so we can just clear it. Good. Let's do another one for employment status and then education qualification. So we click on it and then we go to transform, we go to automatic recode, which can be seen here from the transform. So we click on that is employment status, and then we give it a new name. Let's name it employment, because if you name it, if you give it a lengthy name, it won't accept it, or it will be difficult to use. So let's use employ. Okay, then we click on it. It will be added to it. Then you select the highest one, we click on OK. So you can see from the screen that what we did has taken effect. The number 1 has been assigned to all those who are unemployed in our data set. Students have been given 2, retired officers have been named or have been given 3, and then all those who are employed have been given 4. Let's minimize it. Then we'll go and check from the other end. So you can see employment, or I didn't name it right. I should have added employment, so I just made it employee. Okay, so we can just use, so this is employment status, age and gender. We can do the same thing for, that is education status. So we go to transform and we go to automatic recode. Then let's reset and then choose. Anyways, we forgot to do one thing. Since we already have the numerical data, we are not going to need, or we're not going to use this one, so we can just delete or clear this one off. So we are after education status. Let's go to transform and then automatic recode. So we select, you click on the one that you want to work on, which is the education status, then you select, you click on it. Once you click on it, it will be highlighted, then you select the arrow for it to be selected to this side. So once you click on it, it will be selected, and then you give it a new name, that is education. If you write a longer or a lengthy name, the software will not going to, it will be find it difficult to accept it. So we just have to, that's how come I named the first one employee. Just give it a short name so that it will be easy to work with. Then you select highest value, as I normally prefer to use. Because I didn't select, click on add new name, you see this button, the OK button is still not alive. So what we have to do is just click on it. Once you click on it, it will come to life, as you can see. Then you click on OK. So as you can see from the screen, all those PhD holders have been assigned 1. Master's students or those holding masters have been assigned 2. Diploma degree holders have been assigned 3. Those having certificates have been assigned 4. Normal certificate as in high school or JSS level, junior high school levels, have been assigned 4. And then all those who are holding bachelor degrees have been assigned 5. Let's minimize it. We can check from our screen that what we did has taken effect, just as we did for the first one. We can use the toggle button to check. So you can see that the moment you click on the toggle button, it just gives you the qualitative version or the non-numerical data version. You click on it back, and then it gives you the qualitative or the numbers or the numerical data. So let's go back. Now we have gender, we have age, we have employment status or employment, we have education. So we are not going to need, or we will not need this version, or we're not going to need the non-numerical data, so we can just clear it. Good. Now we are done. You can see from the screen that we don't have any non-numerical data. All what we have is numerical data. This is what the SPSS needs to work with or to work on. So we can go to variable view to check. Initially we're having string under the type. Now all what we have, they are all numerical data, or they are all numeric. This is good. Let me show you once. When you come to width, you can see that it's having 12, 12, 12, and then the latter part, what we did is now having 1. This is because you can see that the boxes here are the spaces are quite different from the old one. These ones are a bit longer or a bit bigger than these ones. It is because of the new ones that we created, the new ones that we did. So what you can do is you can just make, okay, so what you can do is you can simply increase the number up to 12 for it to be even or for it to be uniform here. So we can either input 12 straightforward as I've done for the first one, or you can decide to increase it by clicking on the arrow, the upper arrows up to 12 to them, and then you do the same thing for the remaining ones so that we can have even spaces. This is not that needed, but you can do that for your for the software interface to be even or to be uniform. So we can do the same thing. So in the columns version and the column space or the column space, you can see we have similar situation here. We have 12, and then we have other ones appearing as 8, 5, 8, 11. You can also increase it. This is insignificant because it is not going to affect your data set, it's not going to affect your research, but we just want to do it. It's all part of the learning process, so we can just increase it up to 12. Up to 12. This is up to 12. So now you can see we don't have So all what we have here is 12 zeros. Okay, let's go back to the data view. So you can see all the boxes are the same or are uniform. There are no small spaces or small box here. They are all the same. All right, so right now we are done with data entry and we are done with data preparation, which is basically converting raw data into structured formats. Why converting raw data into structured formats? Because if you go to variable view, we don't have any string variable. All the variables that we have are numeric. So we are done with converting raw data into structured formats. That is the first step. We are also done with data entry. As you see, we have entered our data into the software. Data editing. This part, you need to check through very well to see if you have any missing data. But there are short way you can easily do or use that process to check if you have any missing data. Let me show you quick. You can decide to go to analyze and then go to descriptive statistics and then you select frequency. If you select frequency, then you select all, you click on one and then you can select all by clicking Ctrl A to choose all. Then you go to statistics, then you select any of them, you select mean, then you go to continue, then you go to OK. So you can see how it appears here. We are not interested in any of them, we are only interested in the mixing data. So you can see from the screen that under mixing data we have 0. You have to scroll up to the last end to see if you have any missing data. If you have any missing data, the software will show or will indicate, will show, and then you will even see exact or where you have those missing data, so that you go and then delete it because it will affect your data. Now, as you can see from the screen, we don't have any missing data, so we are good to go. We are not interested in any of the things that we see here, or what we are interested in detecting any missing data, so we are good to go. So with this exercise being done, we can say that we are good. Now we are done with data cleaning, we are done with data preparation, we are done with data editing. The next step left is data coding. Yes, the next step left is data coding. How do we code the data? Remember, we are conducting research on the effects of renewable energy on Ghana's sustainable development. For a research topic such as this, for a research topic to be researchable, you have to make sure we have all the necessary variables in it. We have the independent variable, and then we have the dependent variable. In other words, we have the outcome variable and then the predictor variable. So the dependent variable becomes the outcome variable, and then the independent variable becomes the predictor variable. In other words, we are using the renewable energy to predict what happens to Ghana's sustainable development. Okay, so we have two variables here. We have, let me put it here, we have we are not needing this one, just delete it. We have, let me write it, we have the independent variable, which is that is the renewable energy. Let me onboard this one, renewable energy, and then we also have the dependent variable, that is the outcome variable. Sustainable, that is dependent variable, which is Ghana's sustainable development. So I would say, in other words, the sustainable development in Ghana will depend on how the country handle its renewable energy. That's how come this Ghana's sustainable development, in this case, on this particular research topic, Ghana's sustainable development becomes the dependent variable. So for you to easily do the coding, which is the last step that we need to do, is I normally prefer doing the coding by choosing the initials. Let's start with the independent variable. So you can see from the screen that we have renewable energy, starting with R, and then the energy starting with E. So in brackets like this, we can choose to code it RE for our code, and then under dependent variables is Ghana's sustainable development, we can choose to give it start with the Ghana, which is capital G, and the sustainable S, and then development D. So GSD. These abbreviations are not something that I am creating. So in the research, whenever I use this, I have to create a note, or I have to give full meaning that this particular abbreviation stands for renewable energy, and then this particular abbreviation stands for Ghana sustainable development. Okay, so in research, what we have done, we call this one constructs, and then so we called all these ones constructs. We call the renewable energy constructs in the same way we call Ghana sustainable development constructs. All questions that we raise, or all questions that we ask under renewable energy, becomes our research variables or the indicators. So assuming we ask 10 questions under renewable energy, it becomes research variables or indicators. So we have done codes, or we have generated codes for the variables, which is the independent variable and the dependent variable. Let's go back to our SPSS, and then we were able to assign the code to them. So you can see that now we have the demographics on this side, and then we also have the research, the construct, which has different research variables here. If you go to variable view, you can see from the screen that the parts 1 being the demographic variables, the part 2 here contains the research questions, contains the questions that will be raised in the questionnaire, which falls under each construct. We have two constructs. We have the as you can see from the research, we have the renewable energy and Ghana sustainable development. Back to the SPSS. So this all these questions falls under renewable energy, and then under part 3, that is it. So the part 3 targets the last variable, which is Ghana sustainable development. So you can see it has about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different variables or different indicators. So now, if you want to code something like this, or if you want to code quantitative data like this, what you can do is, we've already assigned, or already given codes to the variables, which is the RE for renewable energy, and then GSD for Ghana sustainable development. We can start by just highlighting on the first one, and then you backspace or delete it, and then you click RE. Since it falls under renewable energy, you can decide to give it RE1, because you are going to need it whenever you are analyzing. If you want to do correlations, if you want to do covariances, if you want to check the descriptive statistics and all that, you are going to need it. So it's good to code it so that it helps generate meaningful results or meaningful findings. So we assigned, since they all fall under RE, we decide to assign codes to them. So we give the first one RE1, and The next one will follow as RE2. You do the same till you get to the last variable, which is Ghana Sustainable Development. RE3, you backspace or delete RE4, RE5, RE6, RE7, RE8, RE9, RE10. So when we get to the last variable, which is part 3, it has different code. You can check from the research topic that we are treating, which is the effect of renewable energy on Ghana's sustainable development. The dependent variable here is Ghana's sustainable development, so we need to give it, we assigned GSD, so we are going to code it as such. You delete it and assign GSD1, GSD2, GSD3. Don't forget G stands for Ghana, S sustainable, and D development. We have given it a code like this, but it's not globally recognized that GSD stands for that. We have given it a code like that to help our research. We go to next one, GSD4, GSD5, GSD6, GSD7, GSD8, GSD9, GSD10. So for this particular variable, it has 10 different, for this construct, sorry, it has 10 different variables, or 10 different questions, or 10 different indicators under it. So now we are done with the abbreviations or the coding. Let me use the right word, the coding. So this is exactly how you can code your quantitative data or your questionnaire data from questionnaire when you obtained it from respondents. Now let's go back to the data variable. You can see from the screen from the top here, initially it wasn't like that. It was the questions itself. Now it has changed to the abbreviations that we did. You can easily see from the screen from the top here that it has changed to the abbreviations that we assign to the variables, or to the variables and the constructs at the same time using the constructs. So it is very good, and it looks nice and easy to be worked with. With this, you can easily decide to check reliability and validity tests. You can usually do this testing to check the reliability of your data, of the data set, and then the validity of the data set, which is another video I'm going to do to show you guys how you can easily conduct all those testing to help you with your research. I hope you like this video. Thanks for watching.